Welcome to Michigan's WW1 Centennial News Report for December 2016, Wartime Recipes. We're going to look at home front recipes that use Crisco instead of butter and substitute different types of flours for wheat flour. I'm your host, Dennis Skupinski. The State Report on November 11th in Chelsea, Michigan, at the Chelsea Inn Village Conference Center, had a Veterans Day event, part of their Strong Foundations New Possibilities WW1 Centennial event.
For those of you I haven't had the privilege of meeting, my name is Jason Lindauer. I have the honor of serving as the mayor for the city of Chelsea. If you've been here before, you know what's coming next. If this is your first time, we are about to observe a toast to the fallen. And this year we will be led by former Chelsea Police Department Chief Leonard McDougal. Chief McDougal, please.
First of all, I want to thank Mayor Lindauer for calling me 2 days ago. It's really a great privilege to be able to do that. Without further ado, as you noticed, I cut it down to 1 page, which I got from the mayor. Okay, I'll start off with, you may have noticed a small table set for one that is off on its own right here. It's reserved to honor our fallen comrades in arms. This symbolizes they are with us here in the spirit. We should never forget the brave men and the women who answered our nation's call and served for the cause of freedom in a special way. We are ever mindful that the sweetness of enduring peace has always been tainted by the bitterness of personal sacrifice. We are compelled to never forget that while we enjoy our daily pleasures, there are others who have endured the agonies of pain, deprivation, and death.
The Veterans Day ceremony focused on music of World War I. Radio was a few years off as a source of public entertainment, but the phonograph was in its heyday, and songs were composed to encourage people to join the war effort as well as protest it. During the ceremony, World War I records were played just like they were 100 years ago. A century ago, December 1916, General August von Mackensen captured the capital of Romania, Bucharest. This drove the Romanian government and remnants of the Romanian army to Moldova and reestablished a new capital at Laci. The sheer number of troops involved, as well as the large area of operations, made it one of the most complex battles fought on Romanian soil during the war. On December 7, 1916, David Lloyd George replaces Herbert Asquith as British Prime Minister. On December 11, 1916, David Lloyd George forms a British war government. On December 13, 1916, a powerful avalanche kills hundreds of Austrian soldiers in a barrack in the Italian Alps. Over a period of several days, avalanches in the Italian Alps killed an estimated 10,000 Austrian and Italian soldiers during mid-December. Avalanches occurred as the Austrians and the Italians were fighting during the war, and some witnesses claim that the avalanches were purposely caused and to be used as a weapon, although there is no evidence of this. December 18, 1916, U.S. President Woodrow Wilson requests statements of war objectives from the warring nations in a peace note. On December 13, 1916, French Chief of Staff Joseph Joffre was replaced by General Robert Nivelle. On December 23, 1916, the Egyptian Expeditionary Force, made up of Australians and New Zealanders, defeated the Ottoman Turks at the Battle of Meghabra. This is in the Sinai Peninsula. This opened up the Mediterranean to the Egyptian Expeditionary Force and forced the Turks to retreat. On December 26, 1916, General Joseph Joffre becomes a Marshal of France. Wartime Recipes by Janet McKenzie Hill. The first of our recipe is French fried potatoes. The history of the French fried potato goes back almost to the founding of the United States. In 1802, at a White House dinner, Thomas Jefferson asked that potatoes be served in a French manner. In our cookbook, which was copyrighted in 1918, Janet McKenzie Hill provides a French fried potatoes recipe. Although not specified in the recipe, russet potatoes are usually used to make French fries. First, pare or peel the potatoes. Once pared or peeled, cut the halves lengthwise, and then in pieces like the section of an orange. This is what your potato should look like after you cut it lengthwise and in sections like an orange. Let stand in cold water for an hour or longer and then dry with a soft cloth. So here are our French fried potatoes sitting in cold water waiting for an hour. By soaking the potatoes, it removes the starch. This keeps the potatoes from sticking together and eliminates the sugars that prevent potatoes from achieving maximum crispiness. Fry in hot Crisco to a rich straw color and until tender throughout. You can see here how the French fried potatoes put in the hot Crisco go from a white to a rich straw color until thoroughly cooked throughout. Once they are done, drain them on a skimmer and then on a soft paper towel, and immediately sprinkle them with salt and serve them at once. And that was our first wartime recipe, French fried potatoes. Next recipe is cooked rice muffins. This is what you're going to need. 1 cupful of cooked rice, 1 cupful of wheat flour, 1 cupful of milk, 4 tablespoons of baking powder, 2 tablespoons of melted Crisco, 1 tablespoon of salt, 2 tablespoons of sugar. Mix the rice evenly with the milk and Crisco. A beaten egg may be added if desired. Sift in the flour, baking powder, salt, and sugar and mix thoroughly. Bake in a hot Criscoed muffin pan about 25 minutes at 375 degrees. When filling the muffin pan, you want to fill up with batter about halfway full. After about 25 minutes, your muffins will turn golden brown and they'll be ready to be eaten. Pop them out of the pan once it cools a bit and they're ready for serving. And that was our second wartime recipe, cooked rice muffins. Final wartime recipe is cauliflower with onion sauce. Boil a cauliflower in the usual manner. When tender, set in a dish suitable for the oven or the table, which means you're going to boil your cauliflower anywhere from 10 to 20 minutes depending on how soft you like it. For the onion sauce, you want to have 1 to 3 onions according to size. That will make enough for 1 cup of puree. Heat the cup of puree, add a cupful of hot cream, half a teaspoon of salt, 1/4 a teaspoon of pepper, and beat in the yolk of 1 egg. Pour the sauce over the cauliflower. After pouring the onion sauce over the cauliflower, have ready 1/2 cup of 1/2-inch cubes of stale bread sauteed in 1 or 2 tablespoons of hot Crisco. Sprinkle these over the cauliflower and onion sauce. Serve very hot. And that's our third wartime recipe, cauliflower with onion sauce.
If you have read your history, then you're bound to know that we have always held our own with any foe. We've always brought the bacon home, no matter what they've done. But we don't want the bacon now. We're out against the hunger. We don't want the bacon. We don't want the bacon. What we want is a piece of the rye. We wonderful time. All with hands will grow, we shall cross it low when we hit that Hindenburg line. We don't want to make it, we don't want to make it. What we want is a peace.